My name is Mr. Martinez Taylor. That is my birth-given name. My Islamic name is Mr. Muhammad. My business, Strong Mind, Strong Body Fitness System, came from Ramadan. It came from a fast. In the year 2007, I had a tumultuous year for myself where I wasn't really taking care of my body properly. I backslid, was caught up into doing drugs and things of that nature. I took a self-analysis, a self-correction, and a self-examination, and then I committed myself to my beliefs, which is Islam, and I did a Ramadan, and the whole time of Ramadan, I had my mind on being a better person to the community, to be a better man for my children, to be a better man to my wife at the time, just to be a better person in general. And I was given the vision of Strong Mind, Strong Body, which is basically fitness and health, but it all is spiritual. Because what I found with Strong Mind, Strong Body, fitness and exercises is hard to get a person to adapt to, just like it is hard to get a person to adapt to any type of religious beliefs. So what I found with exercises is exorcism. So I was able to exorcise the demons inside of my life, inside of my spiritual self, by fasting and praying. And I was also able to exorcise the demons of my flesh, being obese, not taking care of my body properly. And I found in that a spiritual connection of the mind and the body where I can basically add value to myself and in essence, add value to the community. Love, respect, and honor. First and foremost, love. God is love and love is life. And what I found that the most pure love that you can ever get is from a mother. Woman is the first teacher, and a woman's love is pure, and a woman's love is natural like unto God. A lot of people like to use the term love as some type of euphorial, feel-good thing, but what I found, love is freedom, justice, and equality. Because it's love that God used to give you the expression to be whatever it is that you want to be. That's where the freedom comes from. So you can be able to justify your existence in this world. And so then that way you can be able to add value to this world. And with that, you begin to have respect for yourself. And by you having respect for yourself, it makes it easier for you to respect others. And also with that, it creates honor within you and it creates honor into the other person. All of that stuff comes from me and my understanding and from my beliefs and from my practice, being in the Nation of Islam or being a Muslim. I became a Muslim at 17, and the first thing that I was introduced in being a Muslim is the study guide, which is self-improvement, the basis for community development. And the things that they talked about in the study guide was building human potential, struggling for balance, having the will of God, dealing with controversy and hypocrisy, rising above emotions to a thinking of a God. Those are things that's very important for a person to be able to add value to themselves and add value to the community. So love, respect, and honor all goes together, because you cannot have no respect if you don't have love, and you can't have honor if you don't have respect. So it all goes hand in hand. And so what I found through fitness and health, by a person being able to build value in themselves, you can become like an attractive light to people, to want people to ask questions on how could they be like that. Most people would like to keep the secret to themselves, but me, I'm a person who like to share it. I want to share it because I want to help add value to our community, because we all know that there's two different types of mathematics that you can use: adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Well, God's mathematics is adding and multiplying. So by adding value to myself and being a better person, I was able to utilize strong mind, strong body, and multiply that energy throughout the community to help people add value to themselves as well. the part of love, respect, and honor into the Black community is you have to basically first and foremost find out what it is about yourself that you like about yourself. A lot of times there's a lot of self-hate, and because of their self-hate, I can't see no love in you. I can't see no love into no one else. So the first and foremost, what I've learned is when I begin to find value in me, I can be able to see value in someone else. And by that, that's able to multiply the love, the honor, and respect. Regardless if a person don't see the value in themselves, the more you see value in you, the more they can begin to start seeing value in themselves. So it's very important, us as Black men and Black women, that we get on the right track to start learning how to love ourselves and to heal ourselves so it can permeate throughout the community. But the first thing you have to learn is that you're hurt. People walking around and not knowing that they hurt. You have life traumas inside your body and life traumas that you may have experienced, and you have what is called maybe an engram. Something may happen to trigger you. You have trigger points. So if you don't know and understand those trigger points, how would you be able to correct yourself? So one of the things I've also learned by being strong mind, strong body, I have to learn to find out what my triggers are. Because even though I'm in the right track and trying to be a better person, I still may have different issues that may come up that I never knew or may have suppressed that may have a trigger to me, and it basically now nullified everything that I've been trying to do because of one situation that takes place, and now I'm triggered, and now everybody's looking at me and looking at the negative parts, because it's very easy for us to look at the negative parts. But what I'm finding is by finding the best parts in me, help people to find the best parts in themselves. So it's important for us to start looking at the best parts of each other and start pulling on the best parts of each other and start multiplying the best parts of each other, even if it's a small thing, because it's so easy for us to look at the negativity. I always tell people negative begets negative. If you come up to me and start talking about negativity, guess what I'm gonna start doing? I'm gonna start comparing my negativity to your negativity. That's why it's very important that we find different type of avenues and outlets to be able to pull the best parts out of each other and to help us heal each other. And the first thing that I've learned by going to counseling, by sitting down, going to the, at the time, the Zen Lounge, to be able to see some of the things that I may have been challenged with and never knew you were challenged with, because you have so many different things in life that's going on and you suppress it. And it can be one instance. Somebody may say this to you and they remind you of when this happened, or you may hear this song and it remind you when this happened, or you may have instance that you may have seen and it triggers something and it takes you all the way backwards. So it's important for us as a people in this city to be able to keep on abstracting and pulling out the positive out of each other, but first and foremost, finding the positivity within yourself. Juneteenth is basically is when the slaves were announced of having freedom. The slaves were free, and they didn't know in Texas that they were free until, was that June 19th? That's when they found out. That's when it became a national holiday of Juneteenth. But we was free before that. No one knew, and that's why it's very important to know your history so you can be able to correct yourself and to correct the things in the past. And that also coincides with healing. Knowing your past so you can be able to have a better future. And family, like you could grow up with, like I'm the seventh child out of 10 children, and I'm the seventh child. And I think my mother, I think it's like maybe 3 different fathers that fathered that, that fathered the children. And I take that as like, up until the age of 9 years old, I always feel that my father was everybody else's father until one day my mother told me something different. That, like right there, is a correlation to me on how Juneteenth is and how it hit the people and why it's important. It's not a slap in the face. It's an education. It's something that will enlighten you so that you can basically have a different perception of who you are and where you need to be. So to me, I look at that as that. You know what I mean? It's very important because later on down the line, even though my mother told me that, later on down the line, I found out that she was just telling me that because she was still mad at my father. That really was my father. So the importance of you really learning something like that is very detriment. It can hurt you on the good part, or it can heal you. And for me, that was a healing because I was injured all the way in my life. My mother told me that when I was 9 years old. She told me that your daddy is not Troy Lott. Your daddy's name is Delta Branch, and he died from an overdose or something like that. And she told me that. And so I felt that all the way up until I was maybe 40 years old. All the way till 40 years old. And that's when I'm on Facebook, and the whole time my uncles and my aunties and family kind of treated me like a standoffish. I felt that my whole life until all of a sudden Facebook, and everybody's seeing me on Facebook and saying how much I look like my grandfather. And then they start showing me pictures of how much I look like my grandfather. And then I did a DNA test and come to find out my father really was Troy Lott and my mother was just upset. That's Juneteenth for you. That's an example of what Juneteenth and the importance of it is. At that time, I had no clue. But for me to find out, now I can go into the process of healing myself because I never knew I had an issue with father issues, what enabled and made me be a father issue person. It made me have the same issue with my children because I was estranged from not knowing who my real father was and not knowing the real structure, what it takes to be a father. It made me have that same kind of engrams, the same kind of issues with my children. So that's why I feel like that's important, because now here I am about to be 50 years old and the relationship with my children has been broken because of a situation such as that. And it's really difficult, and it's hard. It hurts my heart deeply because I love my children. I would try to be a better father, but because of the absence and because of me not knowing the structure of a father, it hurt my children. And so now here I am about to be 50 years old, barely even talk to my children, barely around my children. They barely want to talk to me. And guess what? That's how it was with me and my father. So that goes back to the Juneteenth part on how because of that, people are estranged from history. People don't want to know nothing about history. People don't give a damn about history. People don't even want to connect to the history part because it's so broken that they don't even know how to get back on track. But now here I am about to be 50 years old. I see the importance of me trying to get back on track because I'm not a player anymore. Now I'm finna become a coach. Because when you're at 50 years old, you can no longer do the things you're doing. Now you have to teach, preach, and be an example. This whole process of being a father, I've been fathering people through fitness and health. You know, Nesha told it to me one day when I was dealing training with my clients. She says people look at you like you like their father figure. You like this, you like that. People turn to you. And I never really considered that. But one day I looked at that and I thought about it. I have really literally have been being the father of fitness and health in the city of Stockton. I've been being that particular person to show you what it takes to add value to yourself and to still look good, feel good, bouncing, shining, beaming, gleaming, to show a person what it looks like and what it takes to be that person. I want my children to know I love them. I want my children to know I apologize. I want my children to know that I'm striving to be better. I want my children to know that I don't know it all, like you don't know it all. We can't correct the past. All we can do is move forward to build a better future. Like I told you guys in the past, when you guys came back into my life, I can't correct what I did not know. I can't show you what I did not know. But now I can. But that's up to them at this point. My hands is washed to that. They just have to accept it or reject it. And what I'm finding is because of the world and the way things are right now, it's so easy for a person to go with the negative versus the positive. It's so easy because, like I said, negativity begets negativity. And because we are all so trapped and so locked into this social media, it's easy for us to feed into more negativity of what this person do, what that person doing is basically you going to what is happening right in before you. And the first thing that I've dealt with by going through counseling is 99% of us is living inside of our head. We are not in the present time. It goes right back to Juneteenth. A lot of us are still living back in that mindset. That's why I'm quick for somebody to say it's a slap in the hand, because you're not here. You're not living in the present time. In the present time, things are not what's going on in your head. And a lot of times we are still functioning on what's going on in our head versus what's going on outside of us and what we have control over. So one of the things that my counselor always tells me when I have a hang up and I'm dealing with something is to look around the room. Look around at the things that's around you. And what can you do with that? Like this camera. I can look into this camera. I can touch this camera. I can look into that like it can blind me. What's going on in my head don't have no bearing on what's going on. What's going on is what's before me. And that's how I'm able to snap back out of what's going on in my head, what I did not know and what I do not do, and what I am doing and what I do know, and manifest that. Well, I think that love, respect, and honor for Juneteenth and for the city of Stockton is for us to be in the present moment, the present time, for us to be aware of what we're doing now. A lot of people have histories and things that this person may have done. Jack stole my dog. Kathy kicked my cat. This person robbed this, but it ain't happening no more. What's happening right now was most important. And the very fact that you guys are interviewing me, the very fact that I'm being asked questions about the city of Stockton and you guys are looking at me as a beacon light is something that make me be like, okay, we're trying to go into the right direction. Because I don't like to really put too much value into who I am and what I'm doing. Even I got the name Mr. Muhammad. Muhammad means one worthy of praise and one praiseworthy. But I still use the name Taylor because I haven't felt like I'm one worthy of praise and one praiseworthy. But now after today and dealing with so much, I'm gonna have to go and have to readapt that and revisit that and have to embrace that. And I think that will be good for the city. We have to embrace where we are and what we're doing. Because right now in the city of Stockton, it's the first time ever we got a black police chief, we got a black city manager, we got a black mayor, we got a black vice mayor. The first time ever. And I think that's very important. We got black businesses that's actually moving and functioning. We're doing something positive. And the thing is that you gotta have a little resistance in order to grow. Like I'm in fitness and health. The only way you're gonna make your muscles grow is you have to have some resistance. You got to have the resistance. The resistance tear things down, so you put the nutrients and the rest to make you build it back up. So things have been broken down in the city of Stockton. So we're using the nutrition of love. We're using the nutrition of respect. We're using the nutrition of honor to help build the community back like a strong muscle to show the love, the honor, and respect. Because like I said in the beginning, the first love comes from a mother. Right now in the city of Stockton, we have a lot of children maybe doing this and doing that. The more that we can find the love back into our black women and take care of our women properly, the more we can be able to circulate that love back into the community, because the love comes from them first and foremost. You build a civilization on the backs of the woman because the woman is the first teacher. In this particular moment right now, we're at the height of us being a better city. We're at the height of us really growing because there's so much to do in this city if we came together and we galvanize our energy, we galvanize our skills, and we galvanize the love, we galvanize the respect, and we galvanize the honor. That's the young people hooking up with the old people, the men hooking up with the women, and we basically trying to make this thing work, trying to get rid of that Willie Lynch way of thinking. That's what I think. And I think this is a very good moment because Juneteenth is right around Father's Day. And this is basically us honoring the very fact that us as men need to step up and be more vocal in what we can do as the vice guards or the vice lords of our city and the protectors of our city. And I'm very excited about what's going to take place in our city. And I never considered myself to be here. I never did. I did not do fitness and health to do this. I did fitness and health to look good, to feel good, and to show my children the benefits of taking care of your body, because God don't live in no church or cathedral. God lives in your body. And the more you take care of your temple, the more the Spirit of the Lord can be able to come out if you're spiritually inclined. But if you're even not spiritually inclined, the more you take care of your body, that's your vessel. And the best thing you was given was your arm, leg, arm, head, which is 5 points, which is basically a star. And we are all stars. And the 5 symbolizes justice. And it's our duty to justify why God called us into existence. And by us finding out why we was called into existence, that's when we can begin to help other people to find out why you were brought into existence, why you was brought into existence, because we all work together collectively. This is the thumb, this is the pointing finger, index finger, all these are different fingers. They got different things, but when they come together, you strike a mighty blow, even right here. So that's what we have to learn how to do. Find out each other's strengths and weaknesses and start galvanizing that together and begin to work together versus us basically trying to copycat each other. We got to learn how to start work with each other. Now, because I'm at fitness and health, you could get into doing the food because I got to teach them how to eat. And this person into food, you can get into farming because they got to go buy the food. And then you get into farming, you can get into package, they got to know how to package. Versus I get into fitness and health. You say, Mr., I'm into fitness and health too. So now we have all this fitness health, but we don't have nothing to basically us work together. So the collective working together, the more that we can grow and show our strength and be back that strong city like we was in the past. The person who I would love, respect, and honor is Brother Minister Tommy Muhammad, Brother Nuri Muhammad, Ralph White. Those are people like that. And the thing is, what I love so much about Ralph White is going to always do something to try to help add value back to the community. Back in 1995, the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called for 1 million black men to go to Washington, D.C. And I was one of them. I was one in a million. And the way I got there is because of Ralph White. Ralph White had 2 buses, and he fixed those buses, and he got us on that bus. Like the movie called Get on the Bus, they probably got that from Ralph White. He need to get some money for that. Because we got on that bus and we had so many different stories, so many different hang-ups on that bus to get there, dealing with different places that we went to, but we was all in unity. And we got all the way out there on Ralph White's bus. So people will say what they want to say about Ralph White. Ralph White is a very honorable man, and he did something that basically I will never forget. And that's basically, he provided those buses for us to go to the Million Man March. Minister Tommy, that's a black man that basically introduced me to the Nation of Islam. That's a black man that introduced me to getting up and going to work and take care of your family. I never forget, Minister Tommy showed me how to sell Final Call newspapers. And he used to come to my house when I was asleep and knock on my door, say, brother, what is you doing? Why is you asleep? Don't you got a family to take care of? You ain't got no job. There's people moving around downtown. You need to go downtown and sell those papers and make you some money. And because of that, I was able to go to the Million Man March selling Final Call newspapers. Not to mention, by me selling Final Call newspapers, he planted a seed in my head to build the community up. So what I would say when I sold the Final Call newspapers, I got the Final Call newspaper. We trying to build a center, a training center, training self-improvement, the basis for community development. Fast forward it, here I am with a gym, training people, trying to build the community up. I didn't have no clue. I was just saying that. I kept saying it over and over again. And even when I went to LA and sold Final Calls, they was wondering, how you sell so many papers, brother? I said, we tell them we're trying to stop crime and gang violence and try to build a community, a health center. We're trying to build a center to teach self-improvement, the basis of community development, a training center. I used to tell people that all over. And here I am with a training center because of Brother Minister Tommy Muhammad giving me those Final Calls. And I say Brother Nuri because Brother Nuri stayed on my hat. He stayed on me too with the talent. He said, brother, you got all them talents. You don't go get a job and wait one day for you to get some heaven where you can go out there and sell those Final Calls and get heaven every day. He gave me the mindset to want to build a business for myself. So I give honor and respect to Ralph White, Brother Minister Tommy, and Nuri Muhammad in the city of Stockton. Also, there's some women in this town I got to give honor and respect to. Mary Penn and Miss Hall. Mary Penn was my teacher and Miss Ware was my teacher. Miss Ware introduced me to Brother Minister Tommy. Mary Penn helped me how to read and how to comprehend, and so did Miss Hall. Mary Penn also was one of the people who had sponsored me to go to the Million Man March. So it's people in this town and people in this city that help us. And we start off with those teachers, we start with those educators. And those are the people who I will love, honor, and respect to in the city of Stockton. My name is Mr. Taylor, owner of Strong Mind, Strong Body. I want to invite you guys all out to the family reunion, which we call Juneteenth. It's basically we can come back to reunite in our city to show some love on Juneteenth. It's our holiday. You wear green on St. Patrick's Day. You go eat some tacos on Cinco de Mayo. You know, you go pop some firecrackers on 4th of July. So now it's our time to do something for us. Come out and celebrate Juneteenth, the love of yourself for the love of our city. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there. Come down and come hang out with us on Juneteenth. I love you. I show you my love. Love is an action. It's not an emotion. And this is the action of love that we're trying to display in our city with a Juneteenth celebration. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. And I love you with all my heart.
Oh, oh.